Which side does the bank think the risk is skewed, upside or downside? The result was so good. And looking at the accelerating credit card spending and the very strong credit growth, does the bank see any risk for the economy to overheat in future, disregarding the geopolitical situation completely, because it's very unpredictable?
Thank you, Gigi. Maybe, Governor, if you would like to respond first before we take further questions.
Sure. Thank you. On the first question with regard to whether we will revise the growth number, pada masa ini tak perlu, but any revision normally will happen during the budget announcement. Norman, in terms of how broad-based is growth, it is broad-based. As you know, the economy is very diversified. And of course, we have seen that the main driver is domestic demand, but we have strong support from the external sector coming this quarter and last quarter especially. So I would say it is broad-based. And even within the export sector itself, the support for the economy has also been diversified and broad-based as well. And we have seen both E&E and non-E&E also growing. And in addition to that, we also see increase in the ICT services sector as well. So this is broad-based. And whether it is sustainable as we go into second half of this year, we have seen that we have been experiencing growth that is above our expectation for the last 3 quarters. And looking at the drivers of growth in terms of consumption, investment, exports, tourism, and the rest, all these factors as driving growth is still there and will continue to take us into the second half. But having said that, of course, there will be some adjustment to the drivers of this growth itself. Given the uncertainty in the global economy, uncertainty in terms of the Middle East conflict, whether it's going to be prolonged, or it's going to be even worse, or it's going to get better. Of course, this may weigh on the growth itself. And if you look in terms of growth at the second half of last year, was very good at 5.4%. So of course, there could also be some base effect for the second half of this year. But having said that, we are confident for this year to be within our range. As I said, most likely it will be around 5% figure. Seiji, your question on the balance of risk, it is subjected to both downside and also upside risk. As you could see, I think I've listed 3 upside risks. The de-escalation of the Middle East conflict, if it de-escalated, and it's provided, it supported a stronger global growth, certainly it will be an upside. Second, if the demand for E&E continues to be strong, that will also be an upside for growth. Third, if we see higher tourism arrivals and higher tourism activities and spending, and also the ICT services, giving the demand that's coming in, that will also be an upside. But of course, there's 2 possible downside risks if there's prolonged conflict in the Middle East. And also if we see lower than expected commodity production given the weather conditions and the rest. Any overheating, I don't see that as point of time. Despite that we have recorded strong growth for the last 3 quarters, we don't see excessive demand pressure at this point of time. Demand is steady and resilient, but it's not excessive. Thank you.